I used to ask, why is this happening to me? Until one day I saw that everything had a reason. What if every heartbreak, every failure was never a mistake, but a message meant just for you? In that silence of confusion, Buddhism offers a whisper. Nothing in life is random. Every event, even the ones that break your heart, carries a hidden purpose. It's like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes fierce, but always flowing toward the ocean. When life pushes you into chaos, it's not punishment, it's an invitation to pause, to look deeper, and to see what part of you is ready to grow. In Zen, this is called trusting the flow of life. It doesn't mean we stop feeling pain, but that we begin to understand it differently. Think of a seed buried under the soil, in darkness, unseen, pressed down by earth. If the seed could think, maybe it would say, "Why is everything so heavy? Why can't I see the light?" Yet it is that very darkness that awakens its potential to rise. Our suffering works the same way. Every heartbreak, every loss, is the soil that shapes our compassion. Pain is not here to destroy us, it's here to reveal the depth of our humanity. When you begin to trust this process, something changes inside. You stop fighting life and start flowing with it. You stop asking, why me, and start seeing, what is this trying to teach me? That shift, where from resistance to understanding, is the true beginning of peace. Buddhism doesn't ask us to pretend that everything is fine. It invites us to sit with what hurts, to breathe with it, and to see that even suffering has wisdom hidden within. Because in the end, it's not the easy days that shape us. It's the ones that make us question, stumble, and start over. So if today you're walking through uncertainty, remember this. The storm isn't against you. It's guiding you. Every challenge carries a seed of awakening, and when you're ready, that seed will bloom into something more beautiful than you ever imagined. Sometimes life breaks you open, not to destroy you, but to let the light finally enter. And with that, we arrive at the first part of today's video, the hidden lesson within pain. Pain is not punishment. It's a disguised teacher, one that arrives without invitation, but always with a purpose. Most of us, when hurt, instinctively resist. We want to escape it, silence it, or numb it. But have you ever noticed that the more you run from pain, the louder it becomes? Zen Buddhism teaches that pain itself is not the enemy. Our fear of it is. When we dare to stay with what hurts, something magical happens. Beneath the sharp edges of suffering, there is a seed of wisdom waiting to awaken. Imagine holding a handful of salt and dropping it into a cup of water. Taste it. Unbearably salty, right? Now drop the same salt into a vast lake and taste again. The salt is still there, but its bitterness disappears. The salt is our pain. The cup is our narrow mind. The lake is our expanded awareness. The more we open our hearts, the lighter our suffering becomes. Every heartbreak, every failure is like that handful of salt. Small but powerful when your world feels confined. When you widen your perspective, you begin to see the purpose behind it. It's not, why did this happen to me? It becomes, what is this trying to teach me? Think of pain as a mirror. It shows you where you are still clinging, where you haven't learned to let go. Each moment of discomfort points to a truth you've yet to see. The illusion of control, the need for approval, the fear of loss. Sometimes what feels like loss is actually life's way of clearing space. The relationship that ends may open you to self-love. The failure that stings may lead you to your real calling. The illness that slows you down may teach you what truly matters. In Zen, this transformation is known as turning poison into medicine. We don't deny the bitterness, we change our relationship with it. We allow pain to refine us instead of define us. So the next time you find yourself in darkness, don't rush to escape. Sit quietly. Listen, ask softly, what is this moment trying to teach me? And you'll see, pain was never against you. It was always your silent teacher, guiding you toward the vast, calm lake within. After realizing that every pain hides a lesson, a natural question arises. How exactly does pain transform us? And that's what we'll explore in the next part of today's video. From chaos to awakening, the power hidden in turmoil. Sometimes life must fall apart before it can fall into place. The moments we call chaos often aren't mistakes. They're the shaking of old walls that no longer serve us. Without disturbance, nothing new can be born. Just as still water grows stagnant, a life too comfortable dulls the soul. Comfort feels safe, but it also traps us. Growth rarely happens when everything goes as planned. It happens when something within us breaks. An illusion, an attachment, a false certainty, and we're forced to rebuild from a deeper truth. Think of a seed buried in the dark soil. From the outside, it seems like an ending, a small, helpless thing swallowed by the earth. But in truth, that darkness is a sacred space of transformation. The seed must break open to become what it's meant to be. Without pressure, without the unseen struggle underground, it could never rise toward the light. Our lives follow the same law of nature. Every challenge, heartbreak, or confusion is that soil moment. Uncomfortable, messy, but necessary for awakening. Another image, the butterfly in its cocoon. Many people know this story, but few truly feel its meaning. A man once saw a butterfly struggling to emerge and decided to help it by cutting open the cocoon. The butterfly came out easily, but its wings were soft and weak. It never learned to fly. What looked like kindness actually robbed the creature of its strength. Life does this to us too. The resistance we face, heartbreak, loss, uncertainty, is not cruelty from the universe. It's life training our wings. Every moment of struggle builds spiritual muscle, inner resilience, and wisdom we couldn't gain otherwise. When we're in chaos, our minds want to escape. We say, I just want things back to normal. But maybe normal was never meant for us anymore. Maybe chaos is the universe's way of saying, you're ready for more. Stop trying to fit into who you used to be. There is a kind of divine order within the disorder, a sacred intelligence moving us toward awakening, even when we can't see it yet. Pain is not punishment, it's pressure shaping us into something truer. If you look back on your life, you'll see this pattern everywhere. The heartbreak that taught you compassion, the failure that revealed your real strength, the ending that opened a door you didn't even know existed. We resist chaos because it feels unsafe. But looking deeper, it's often grace in disguise. Life's way of refining our soul. So when your world feels like it's falling apart, try this simple shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Whisper, what is this trying to awaken in me? Because sometimes the chaos isn't destroying you. It's removing everything that keeps your light from shining through. In Buddhist Zen teaching, there's a saying, no mud, no lotus. The lotus, symbol of enlightenment, grows only from the deepest mud. Likewise, the beauty of awakening can only emerge from the chaos we once feared. Remember, without the storm, the seed never opens. Without struggle, the butterfly never flies. So trust your chaos. It's not the end. It's the sacred beginning of your transformation. When we finally learn to trust our chaos, something deeper begins to unfold. A quiet rhythm beneath everything. It's as if life whispers, you were never lost, only being guided. And with that, we'll move to the next part of today's video, the hidden harmony, understanding the invisible order of life. At first glance, life seems random. Joy one day, loss the next, plans collapsing without warning. But beneath all this, there is a hidden structure, a natural intelligence that orchestrates everything perfectly. In Buddhism, this principle is called Dharma, the law of the universe, the order behind all apparent disorder. Dharma is not about morality or religion, it's the way things naturally move toward balance. The seasons change, rivers flow, the sun rises and sets. No one tells them to, yet they follow an unspoken rhythm. Trees don't hurry to bloom, they trust the right season. And yet, as humans, we struggle, doubt, and demand control, as if we could rush the river of life to flow our way. That's why we suffer, not because life is cruel, but because we resist its natural pace. We try to control what's meant to unfold. We chase what's leaving and hold back what's trying to come in. There's an old story of a man caught in a storm at sea. Waves crashed around him as he fought desperately to stay afloat. The harder he struggled, the deeper he sank. Exhausted, he finally stopped resisting. and it was only then that the waves carried him safely to shore. That's Dharma. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go of the fight against what is. It's the art of trusting the larger flow, even when we can't see where it's taking us. Sometimes losing something isn't punishment. It's alignment. The universe removes what no longer serves our growth. The job that ends, the person who leaves, the plan that falls apart, all are part of the invisible order guiding us to where we truly belong. When a door closes, Dharma whispers, "Not this, not now." When life delays something you deeply want, Dharma says, "Wait, your roots aren't ready yet." When pain appears, Dharma reminds, "This too has meaning." We call it bad luck or coincidence, but often it's grace moving in ways our minds cannot yet comprehend. Think of how a river carves its way through stone, slowly, gently, persistently. It doesn't fight the rock, it shapes it over time. That's how Dharma works in our lives. A patient sculptor, carving us into who we are meant to be. When we trust this flow, anxiety loses its grip. Comparison fades. We stop asking, why is their path easier? Because we understand every soul has its own current, its own timing. The flower doesn't envy the tree, it just blooms when it's time. In modern life, where everything pushes us to rush, control, and compete, Dharma calls us back to alignment, to live in tune with the natural intelligence of existence. The more we align, the less we need to struggle. Life begins to feel lighter, more fluid, more guided. Zen teaches that the path is not something you find, it's something you allow. When we stop interfering, the way appears on its own. So if things seem to be falling apart, remember, life might simply be rearranging itself to match your next stage of becoming. Trust that invisible harmony. The Dharma is always working, quietly, perfectly, even in the chaos you fear most. When we begin to trust the hidden harmony of Dharma, something beautiful starts to happen. We realize that not everything needs our control to work out. And with that, we'll move to the next part of today's reflection, the illusion of control, learning to trust the flow. Since childhood, most of us have been taught the same idea. If you want happiness, you must take control. Control your future, control your emotions, control your success. But life, in its quiet wisdom, keeps reminding us it doesn't work that way. Life changes. People come and go, plans collapse. And no matter how carefully we build, everything remains in motion, shifting, dissolving, transforming. When that happens, we often blame ourselves. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I made a mistake. But the truth is, nothing is truly under full control. Not even the next breath we take. Buddhism calls this attachment to control an illusion, a subtle trap of the mind that makes us believe we are the center of everything. The more we cling, the more we suffer, because every act of grasping pulls us away from the natural rhythm of life. There's an old Zen story about a king who wanted to control a river. One morning, he walked to its banks and tried to stop the water with his bare hands. The harder he pushed, the more the river resisted, splashing wildly. His wise advisor watched silently, then said, "Your Majesty, life is like this river. You cannot stop it. You can only learn to flow with it." The king paused, staring at the endless current. In that moment, he realized his power was an illusion. He could rule a nation, but not the wind. He could command soldiers, but not time. That realization is liberation. Letting go of control is not surrender. It's cooperation with the universe. It's the art of effortless action, what Taoism and Zen both call Wu Wei, acting in harmony with the flow instead of fighting against it. Think of how a surfer rides the wave. They don't conquer the ocean, they listen to it. They wait, they sense, and when the right moment comes, they move with it. Gracefully, powerfully, without force. That's Wu Wei in motion. When we stop trying to make everything bend to our will, something magical happens. Peace returns. Anxiety begins to fade. We become fully alive in the present, no longer dragged by the need to predict or control tomorrow. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what's needed with calm and clarity, then releasing attachment to the outcome. It's saying, I will give my best and I will trust life with the rest. Because the truth is, every moment, pleasant or painful, has its own necessity. The storm teaches us what sunshine never could. The delay saves us from a path not meant for us. The failure redirects us towards something more aligned with our purpose. Imagine your life as a great river, sometimes calm, sometimes wild. You can choose to fight the current, exhausting yourself trying to stay still, or you can learn to float, to move with it, to trust that it knows the way home. Zen masters often say, the river never hurries, yet it reaches the sea. That's the wisdom of surrender. Not weakness, but profound alignment. When we stop clinging, life doesn't fall apart. It falls into place. And in that stillness, we discover what control was never able to give us: peace, clarity, and freedom. So the next time your plans collapse or life turns in an unexpected direction, take a breath. Don't fight the river. Let it carry you. It knows where you're meant to go. As we continue our journey through life's deeper truths, we now arrive at the next chapter. Serenity in the unexpected. Finding peace in impermanence. Life is a river of constant change. Jobs end, relationships shift, plans collapse. What we once thought was stable suddenly dissolves, leaving us feeling uncertain and vulnerable. But Buddhism reminds us, peace does not come from eliminating uncertainty. It comes from learning to live within it. Think of a sailor navigating a stormy sea. The more he fights the waves, the more exhausted he becomes. Yet, when he learns to move with the rhythm of the sea, the waves no longer threaten him. They carry him forward. Similarly, when life's storms arise, our first instinct is often resistance. We tighten our grip, trying to hold on to what was. But peace begins when we release the need for control and allow the current to guide us. There's a story about a Zen monk in a great storm. When villagers ran to warn him, the monk calmly replied, "If the storm comes, I will welcome it. If I die, I will accept death. If I live, I will accept life." This profound acceptance doesn't come from indifference, but from understanding. The monk had realized that resisting impermanence is like shouting at the wind. It changes nothing, only exhausts the heart. True peace arises when we stop demanding that life match our expectations. Instead, we embrace reality as it is, shifting, uncertain, alive. In every unwanted change, there hides a lesson. Losing a job might open the door to a new calling. A breakup might teach us self-worth. A failure might lead us to wisdom we never knew we needed. Impermanence is not punishment. It is the pulse of life itself. Everything changes, and because of that, everything grows. Buddhist wisdom teaches, whatever comes, let it come. Whatever goes, let it go. To trust this flow is to live with grace, to find calm even when life makes no promises. Peace doesn't mean we avoid life's storms. It means we've learned to stay centered while they pass. So when uncertainty knocks, don't rush to fix or understand it. Sit with it. Breathe with it. Let it unfold. Because peace doesn't live in knowing what's next. It lives in trusting that, whatever comes next, you'll be ready to meet it. As our understanding deepens, we now come to the next and perhaps most transformative insight in this journey: transforming suffering into wisdom and compassion. Suffering is not the end of the path. It is the beginning of awakening. Every pain, every loss, every heartbreak carries within it a silent invitation. Look deeper. When we experience grief, loneliness, or failure, those moments strip away illusion. They push us to meet ourselves without masks. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not an enemy to escape, but a doorway to awareness, a sacred teacher guiding us home to our true nature. Just as a lotus rises only from muddy water, wisdom blooms through the soil of our struggles. When we face pain with mindfulness rather than fear, it begins to reveal what lies beneath: our vulnerability, our resilience, our shared humanity. And that understanding naturally blossoms into compassion. Only those who have tasted sorrow can truly feel the pain of another. When we understand our own suffering, we stop judging and start understanding. We speak softer. We listen deeper. Compassion grows not from perfection, but from brokenness healed by love. There is a Buddhist saying, when your heart breaks, the light gets in. Through cracks of suffering, our hearts expand, not to hold more pain, but to hold more love. Acceptance is the first step toward healing. The more we resist pain, the longer it stays. But when we learn to simply observe it, without blaming, without fleeing, the energy of that suffering begins to dissolve. It transforms into understanding, and from understanding arises peace. Pain refines the soul just as fire purifies gold. It burns away attachment, pride, and illusion, revealing the quiet brilliance within. That is why enlightened beings do not run from suffering. They embrace it, knowing it is the forge of transformation. When we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" we step into the realm of Dharma. We turn wounds into wisdom, fear into faith, and hardship into spiritual growth. Every heartbreak can deepen compassion. Every failure can awaken humility. Every loss can expand gratitude. Suffering, then, is not meant to destroy us. It's meant to polish us. It's not a punishment, but a profound teacher reminding us of our capacity to love, to grow, and to awaken. So the next time pain visits, don't push it away. Sit with it. Listen. Within it lies the seed of your greatest transformation, the quiet unfolding of wisdom and boundless compassion. Every storm, every heartbreak, every unexpected turn in your journey, none of it is wasted. Each moment of pain is a quiet sculptor, shaping you into someone more awake, more compassionate, more real. Enlightenment is not some distant mountain reserved for saints or monks. It happens here, in the chaos and beauty of ordinary life. It happens when you breathe deeply in the middle of uncertainty, when you choose kindness instead of anger, when you stop running from what hurts and finally sit still long enough to listen. The truth is, life is never trying to punish you. It's trying to wake you up. Every loss you've endured, every disappointment that broke your heart, all of it was preparing you for a deeper understanding, a wider love, a softer strength. When you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" everything changes. You step out of the role of a victim and step into the sacred role of a student of life. And in that shift, suffering transforms into wisdom, chaos becomes clarity, and your ordinary days turn into sacred practice. So wherever you are right now, even if things feel heavy, uncertain, or unclear, trust this. The path you're walking is the path. You are not lost. You are being guided. Every step, even the painful ones, is part of your awakening. Every breath, even the trembling ones, carries you closer to peace. Before you leave, take a moment. Close your eyes. Ask yourself softly, "What is life teaching me right now?" Whatever answer comes, trust it. That is your Dharma speaking. If this message touched something in you, share in the comments one lesson your own pain has taught you. It might be the light someone else needs tonight. And if your heart is ready to keep walking this path of mindfulness and awakening, subscribe and join me in the next video, where we'll continue exploring how Zen wisdom can help you live, love, and let go with peace.